as directed.
What have I learned so far? Well, I've learned there's no one right path for everyone. I've learned that without my high school diploma, I can only do so much. My options were limited, very limited. I found a free personalized learning program with Learn for Life that has a flexible schedule so I can keep my job while earning my high school diploma. I found a new career with training opportunities that would jumpstart my future. What have I learned so far? I've learned that I could change my life.
Are you 14 to 19 years old and looking for a free high school diploma program with flexible meeting times? This program allows you to keep your job or important family responsibilities while earning your high school diploma. If you've fallen behind on credits or dropped out of school completely, get back on track with free tutoring, a caring faculty, and one-on-one attention. For more information on how to reach your graduation goal, visit learnforlife.org. That's LEARN, the number 4, LIFE.org. Or enroll today by calling 877-360-LEARN. That's 877-360-LEARN.
In the time you've spent listening to this radio spot, you could have completed and submitted an entire expense report with a simple picture of your receipt. That's all it takes for you to get back to work and for your business to run more efficiently. To learn more and discover all the ways Concur helps manage your company's expenses, just go to tryconcur.com for a free test drive.
You're on board KCAA's Inland Talk Express. KCAA, Loma Linda, 1050 AM, the station that leaves no listener behind.
It's time for an NBC Sports News Update, brought to you by West Coast Auto in Montclair.
This is your NBC Sports Radio Update.
Getting tight at Augusta. I'm Jason Page. Jordan Spieth came into his third round on moving day at the Masters at Augusta National at 14 under par. It's been a roller coaster ride of a day with Spieth going up and down throughout the round. He had it all the way to 18 under par through 16 holes, but a double bogey at the 17th hole, and he'll have a tricky par putt coming up at the 18th hole to remain 4 shots clear of the man in second place, and that man is Justin Rose, who shot a 6-under round of 66 earlier today to get himself into a position to play in the final pairing with Spieth on Sunday. Then there's Phil Mickelson. He shot a 5-under round of 67. Mickelson will be in the penultimate pairing along with Charlie Hoffman. He is at 9 under. Wondering about Tiger Woods? He and Rory McIlroy are in a pack of golfers now 10 shots behind Spieth at 6 under par. Let's move it over to Major League Baseball. Earlier today, the Boston Red Sox, a victory over the Yankees by a final score of 8-4. The Cardinals win in Cincinnati by a score of 4-1. White Sox 5, Minnesota 4. Tampa Bay shut out the Marlins by a score of 2-0. Top of the ninth, Seattle and Oakland are tied at 4. After entering a rehab treatment facility in late January, Cleveland Browns quarterback Johnny Manziel is leaving said facility. The former Texas A&M star will participate in Browns off-season workouts beginning later in the month. He will compete for the starting job along with Josh McCown. Go back over to baseball for a second. Mets closer Henry Mejia suspended 80 games by Major League Baseball under its performance-enhancing drug policy. Mejia testing positive for stanozolol. He says he'll accept his punishment, but has no idea how the drug got into his system. Bulls in action tonight. They say Derrick Rose is back at full health. I'm Jason Page, NBC Sports Radio.
This NBC Sports News Update is brought to you exclusively by West Coast Auto, located at 5180 Hope Boulevard in Montclair, where you'll find the widest selection of the most pristine used automobiles in Southern California.
From the KCAA Weather Center, I'm Rod Tanner. For tonight, Unity Park County, a low 51, with winds gusting to 25 miles an hour. Sunday should be a mostly sunny day with a high of 83, with winds to 20 miles an hour. Sunday night, we'll have patchy fog, otherwise Unity Park County, a low 53 as winds gust at 30 miles an hour. Patchy fog lingers well into Monday. We'll begin the week under mostly sunny skies with a high of 81 as winds gust to 20 miles an hour. Tuesday, look for patchy fog well into the morning. Unity mostly sunny with a high of 81. Again, tonight, low 51, and that's your weather forecast for this hour from the station that leaves no listener behind, NBC News Radio, AM 1050 KCAA.
Hi, Hi, welcome to AT&T.
Hi, can you tell us more about rollover data?
Yeah, what do we have to do?
Not a thing. If you're a Mobile Share Value customer, your unused plan data automatically rolls over for 1 month. It's our way of saying thanks.
That's so wonderful.
You know, let's hug.
Oh, that's okay. We don't have to.
I think we do.
Yeah, I think we do.
Nice.
Let's bring it in.
Oh, wow. And we're hugging. All three of us. Really hugging. Ooh, who smells like bacon?
Introducing AT&T Rollover Data. All Mobile Share Value plans now come with rollover data on the network with the nation's strongest LTE signal. AT&T, mobilizing your world. AT&T reminds you to never text and drive. It can wait.
Available only with AT&T Mobile Share Value plans. Rollover data automatically expires after 1 month or with any plan change. Other restrictions apply. Visit att.com/rollover data for details. Signal strength claim based only on average LTE signal strength for national carriers.
Do you have a broken window or rock chip on your vehicle that needs repair? Give us a call at HM Auto Glass, 951-858-5190. HM Auto Glass is your locally owned and operated auto glass specialist, offering low cost and high quality auto glass repair and replacement. We also work with all major insurance companies and offer free mobile service. So call us, 951-858-5190. That number again is 951-858-5190.
We interrupt our regular scheduled programming for a live local special news report on KCAA 1050 AM.
Good afternoon. I'm Mark Westwood. It's 4:04 with an update on the San Bernardino County Sheriff's beating case from Hesperia. I'm here, and also is Di Rice. Good afternoon, Di.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, we have a special update to keep our listeners updated on this turn of events that is coming as the events come along, and we will be keeping our listeners updated throughout the weekend, and then also on Monday we will be having reports live at 6 a.m., at 8 a.m., at 2 p.m., and at 4 p.m., and throughout the day, possibly on the Jason Stapleton Show, as well as we keep you up to date on this very important turn of events. Di, first of all, we're going to hear from our cousin news station, KNBC News in Los Angeles. This is a report by Gotti Schwartz.
How can you be tased and then them still feel it's necessary to beat him like that?
A family in disbelief, a sheriff disturbed. NBC4 capturing this pursuit takedown for the first time. And now deputies are under investigation.
NBC4's Gotti Schwartz tonight is with the family of the man seen beaten in the desert.
First, NBC4's Tony Shin spoke with the San Bernardino sheriff about our video, now triggering a use of force investigation. Tony.
Robert and Colleen, the sheriff told me that basically this all began when deputies were trying to serve a search warrant at a home in Apple Valley. And suddenly, a suspect took off. News Chopper 4 caught up with Francis Pusock just after deputies say he stole this horse from a group of people to try and get away.
Here's a deputy chasing him. Deputy fell down.
Once he's on the ground, you can see a deputy fire his taser. Pusock is lying face down. You see him put his hands behind his back. Another deputy arrives, and both deputies punch and kick him. The 30-year-old Apple Valley man continues to get punched and kicked as more deputies get to the scene. We counted a total of 11 deputies, and during the 2-minute-long beating, it appears Pusock was punched 37 times, kicked 17 times, and struck with a baton 4 times. 13 of those blows were to his head.
Well, obviously it's disturbing.
Sheriff John McMahon told us tonight he only saw part of the NBC4 video, but it was enough for him to take immediate action by launching internal and criminal investigations.
I'm not sure if there was a struggle going on with the suspect. It appears there was in the early parts of the video. What happens afterwards, I'm not sure of, but we will investigate it thoroughly.
2 deputies were treated for dehydration, and another was injured after being kicked by a horse during the pursuit. Still, Sheriff McMahon says if any deputies went too far in this arrest, they will be held accountable.
And if there's any misconduct on the behalf or part of our deputy sheriffs, we will deal with that appropriately.
Earlier tonight, a sheriff's spokesperson told me it does not appear that the suspect had any type of weapon. Tonight, we are now hearing from the suspect's family. Gotti Schwartz is live in Apple Valley with that part of our coverage. Gotti?
Well, Tony, we actually just checked in with the family. They tell us they have been on the phone all night, and so far they have not been able to get an update on his condition either.
Here we go. Suspect being tased.
Of the dozens of punches and blows, it's these first kicks to the face with hands behind the back that are the hardest for Jolene Bidner to watch.
I don't understand. He puts his hands behind his back. How can you be tased and then them still feel it's necessary to beat him like that?
The suspect, Francis Pusock, is her boyfriend and the father of her 3 children.
I still, to this moment, do not know how he's doing. I don't know what hospital he's at. They have failed to tell me anything about him.
She says when she called to find out his condition, deputies told her they were worried about their own.
He could still be unconscious for all I know. I don't know. They have not told me a thing. Their main focus was on deputies who were dehydrated.
And the sheriff comes out and he makes comments like, oh my God, they were dehydrated. From what? From running out of steam beating the man? This is outrageous.
Tonight, her lawyer says he thinks this would have never come to light without News Chopper 4 overhead.
I thought it was a cop helicopter, and of course, if the cop helicopter caught all the video, no one would ever know about it. Thank God it was a news chopper.
I'm lost for words. I mean, these are the people that are sworn in, right, to protect people, and this is what they do.
Jolene tells us all she has heard so far is that his condition is not life-threatening. Now, all of this began during an investigation into identity theft. Reporting live from Apple Valley, Gotti Schwartz, NBC4 News.
All right, Gotti, and the ACLU just released a statement. They said they understand police officers are authorized to use force, but are deeply troubled by the video images that appear to show San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies beating a man after he surrendered.
And that was a report by Gotti Schwartz of Los Angeles, KNBC News TV. I'm Mark Westwood along with Di Rice and Joe Britt in the CNBC, NBC, KCAA News Center as we give you an update on this. Di, it appears to be a case of mistaken identity. And what am I talking about? The sheriff's deputies who partook in this didn't realize that it was a KNBC News helicopter above them. They thought it was their own sheriff helicopter, and now we see what came to fruition after that. It's absolutely shocking, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and we might want to let everybody know who is listening that Sheriff McMahon has placed those 10 deputies on administrative leave, unpaid administrative leave, so that kind of is...
yes, they have been placed on administrative leave. He is taking action. And to be fair, we're going to hear from Sheriff McMahon in just a moment from his press conference. But I did just want to talk about the observations that I noticed on the video that took place on Thursday, and a lot of people are just now seeing. First of all, you know, you can see this online at YouTube.com. You can see it across the nation. The Young Turks have reported on it. It's been reported across the nation on national news, and of course, we're going to keep you up to date here. It is rather shocking. We don't know what to quite say about it. The sheriff's chief, John McMahon, has also kind of issued his own dismay about this. And, Guy, I think we should hear from him now. This is San Bernardino County Sheriff John McMahon.
Good afternoon. On Thursday at about 12:15 p.m., Victor Valley deputies went to a residence on Zuni Road in Apple Valley to serve a search warrant relating to an identity theft investigation. As deputies arrived, they made contact with a male, later identified as Francis Pusock, in front of the residence. He got into a vehicle and fled from the area. Deputies attempted to stop him, and he failed to yield. He drove at high rates of speed through the town of Apple Valley, unincorporated Apple Valley, and unincorporated Hesperia. In the area of Bowen Ranch, the vehicle became disabled, and Pusock fled on foot. Shortly after, Sheriff's Dispatch received a call from a man in the area of Deep Creek Hot Springs stating that a male subject had just stolen his horse. At this time, we had deputies on foot, off-highway vehicles, and in helicopters, including assistance from the California Highway Patrol with air support. Several deputies became dehydrated after miles of the foot chase. Kcaa continued to evade deputies, riding the horse through 4 to 5 miles of sometimes steep, rocky, and rugged terrain. A sheriff's helicopter inserted a team of deputies into the area of Highway 173 and Arrowhead Lake Road to take the suspect into custody. Deputies made contact with Kcaa, and as they approached, the horse threw him off. A taser was deployed initially and thought to be ineffective due to his loose clothing. A use of force occurred during the arrest. I need to clarify some information about the injured deputies. 2 deputies were transported to the hospital with injuries consisting of abrasions, a twisted knee, and a back injury from being struck by the horse. They have been treated and released. Francis Kcaa was treated for injuries consisting of abrasions and bruising. He was treated at the hospital and then transported to the West Valley Detention Center for booking. He was booked for felony evading, theft of a horse, possession of stolen property, and an active warrant for reckless driving. An internal investigation was started immediately regarding the use of force. In addition, 2 teams of specialized investigators have been working around the clock conducting the criminal investigation. The criminal investigation will address the actions of Kcaa and the deputies involved. At this time, we have identified 10 deputies involved in the use of force during the arrest. Those deputies have been placed on paid administrative leave. We have received multiple threatening emails, phone calls, and posts on social media. We are looking into the validity of these threats and will only release the deputy's name if those threats are found to be unwarranted. I assure you that I'm disturbed by this video. I said it yesterday that it was disturbing. I ask the citizens of our county and across the nation to please be patient with our investigation. I assure you that we will conduct a fair and thorough investigation into the incidents that occurred yesterday afternoon in the Bowen Ranch area.
And that was Sheriff John McMahon, the chief of the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, the largest county sheriff's department in the lower 48 United States, remarking on what he could only say was disturbing. It is very disturbing, the video. Di, in your observations, what did you take of it?
Well, it's kind of crazy with what's already gone on across the nation. Just, what was it, a week ago in South Carolina?
Yes.
With the man, with the killing of the man running, I don't know, through the park or what have you, being shot, Michael Ferguson, or Michael was in Ferguson, Missouri. So you would think that that the officers, the deputies, would be kind of on their guard and watch things, knowing that we're the public is watching them. It was Eric.
Yeah, it's amazing, Di, that the public is watching them, and they don't realize that. Maybe they haven't gone past that learning curve yet. But they don't know that a helicopter in the air wasn't their own sheriff's department helicopter, and that you could almost see at the end when some of them looked up and realized it was KNBC there, that they kind of were taken back by it. But before that, Di, the shocking thing is that I noticed a couple of sheriff's deputies actually struggling among themselves to take punches at the victim. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that. It's absolutely appalling. There was, I know one deputy who kind of seemed to back off, and he seemed to kind of be like, wow, he couldn't believe what was going on. And I don't know, it's really upsetting, especially when there's so many of them, and like the one reporter had already mentioned, he had already been tased. And
right.
Okay,
he was tased and in the prone position. We also have Joe Britt in the studio. Joe's going to start his show momentarily, but I would be interested to get a take from Joe Britt as well. Joe, are you there?
Thanks for having me on. Thanks for coming in. Listen, you're saying this is shocking, and I don't understand why you think it's so shocking. We've seen this time and time again. Di, we just had an incident where a guy got shot in the back 8 times in the back, and that was
Scott in South Carolina.
Thank goodness someone was videotaping at the particular time. And in New York City, it's the same deal. So it's going across the country. Sure enough, looking at the videotape, it looks like they were on him as if he was fresh meat, and they were all a bunch of wolves. But nevertheless,
Joe, as a person of color, it's interesting that this particular individual. This isn't about racism. If you go on to his Facebook page, he also has a blog called Dog's Blog. He's a blogger, and he seems to be fairly well articulate. We actually have attached his blog to the KCAAradio.com webpage, so you can see his blog at KCAAradio.com. But he is a white Caucasian individual who appears to be very fit and muscular. Very few tattoos or indications of any kind of prison tattoos. Although it has been alluded to.
Kcaa? You're talking about Kcaa right now?
Yeah.
Okay, I do have to dispel something, though. Okay, because Kcaa, he does have convictions dating back as far as 2002.
But what we are seeing here, though, is that we have street-level justice of judge, jury, and executioner, and we cannot afford to have our police department at that level. They need to, enforce the law, but not be the judge on it. And we can't judge him on that right now. We don't know the circumstances of why he was being arrested at this time. But he does have a blog that was attached to our website, and then people can read for themselves what he has to say about it as well. Very interesting in this day and age, I think, in my observation, Joe and I, that, the people are very much in tune with news and can also insert themselves into the news through blogs and through iPhone videotapes and whatnot, too.
This has been going on for a long time, though, guys. You guys know this has been going on a long time. Now, a lot of that stuff has not been reported because at a particular time, maybe the person or the group of folks that were around seeing this travesty throughout this country did not have a cell phone playing, did not record that. So it's a lot of incidences that we don't even hear about. It just goes and people just says, "Oh, okay, just brush it off." So I'm not shocked, man. I'm not shocked. I'm appalled, yes, but I'm not shocked.
Well, I think, Joe, I live up in the high desert, so this is in my backyard right here. So I think, people have a hard time believing it, or a more difficult time believing it when it is closer to them. They go, "Oh, well, I'm not acquainted with South Carolina. I don't know what goes on there. I don't know about Ferguson, Missouri. But then when it kind of happens in your own backyard, you're a little more shocked. Because it
is shocking to me as well, Joe, and I understand what you're saying about it. It doesn't shock you. But to most people, seeing another human being kicked and kicked repeatedly, he was kicked some 30 times while he was in the prone position after he had been tased. And regardless of the fact that he was eluding arrest and he had a search warrant, and for whatever reason he had a search warrant, apparently it was for an accusation of identity theft, that does still not warrant the punishment of being kicked and repeatedly and kicked in the head.
I agree
At one point, I saw an officer actually kick him straight in the groin.
I agree with you, and I saw that. I agree with you, and I saw that 100%. So he got punched 37 times, he got kicked 17, and he got struck with a baton 4 times. And on the scene, there were 11 cops. It was it was for one guy. Are you kidding me? All that for one guy? Yeah.
Yeah, and I would honestly like to know, well, the FBI is also investigating this case, and I think it would be interesting from a deputy standpoint, what goes through your mind when you're doing that? I mean, after they calm down and think about what happened, I just wonder, what goes through your mind? What is it that charges you so much that you have to beat the guy? His attorney.
Well, they certainly will have to be answerable to this. We now have also Jim, the poor man, Trenton on the line, who's one of our afternoon hosts, and he will be reporting to this on Monday at 2 p.m. But Jim, hello, how are you?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey,
I think Fred maybe should get a taser, and then when we say the wrong thing on the air, he can do that, and then we can get punched by Mark Westwood.
Well, Clement, you certainly have an interesting take on that. But you are calling us live from New York, and of course, this is in our backyard. But you can observe this worldwide on the internet. People are talking about it across the nation.
Yeah, in all seriousness, guys, I saw the video, and my feeling is, and you know, certainly you could almost analogize this in certain ways to what happened in South Carolina with that gentleman being shot in the back when he was running away, and many other situations. My guess is, and of course all we can do is speculate at this point, but I'm sure as more information comes out, we'll know more. But I think if you say anything derogatory to a policeman, you better be prepared to get the you-know-what kicked out of you. And I'm sure that I mean, I'm not sure, but my guess is he may have said something. And what really shocks me is how the other cops, you know, come walking into this video and they take a kick at him or a punch at him. It's just like one right after the other. It's really shocking.
Well, some of them ran into the video, and I observed before, some of them actually struggled with one another to see who could get the next kick in. That was what was so shocking to me on this whole video. You know, we've got to wrap this up, this newscast up in just a second, Jim, but you're going to be reporting it on your show, is that correct, at 2 p.m.?
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, obviously, I just found out about this, you know, just like you guys, but I'm interested in trying to get in touch somehow, since it's right in the backyard, with people that may have actually, you know, firsthand knowledge of what went on. I'm sure there are people out there that were witness to this, or maybe even family members. The one other thing I was going to throw real quickly to you guys that bothers me, and I don't know, maybe you have an update on this, is the fact both his mom and his girlfriend didn't know what hospital he was in, at least the story I've read, and they don't know the extent of his injuries. Is that still the situation?
It is no longer the situation. My understanding is that they were trying to cool things off at the minute and get medical care. They talked about the deputies, amazingly enough, that needed medical care. I think they had a few skin needs, and they also had some dehydration from their run through the desert, I guess. But not
and one guy got kicked by the horse. I heard one of the deputies.
Yeah, well, the horse guy was injured too. I don't know the extent of his injuries, but he kind of freaked out a little bit, I think, toward the end with the helicopter circling overhead and all these deputies around. So it'd be interesting also to know how the horse is doing.
How the horse is doing.
Well, I mean, seriously.
No, she's right. The horse apparently sustained injuries, is what I heard.
Yeah, it did, Mark. And I'm saying I don't know the extent. I think he was probably fine, but, you know.
So who's going to be charged for
Di,
that?
I think that's a newsworthy journey for you for Monday, is to find out about the horse, Di. And, of course, we're on borrowed time here on CNBC, NBC, Kcaa, because we have another show to start. Ladies and gentlemen, on the listening audience, we've been talking with Di Rice, Jim the Poor Man Trenton, Joe Britt. We've also heard from Sheriff John McMahon, and also a special report from KNBC TV LA about this incident. Of course, we're talking about the beating incident that took place on Thursday of John Thuzak, and we will be having more about that. We'll be hearing a report at 6 a.m. in the morning. We'll also be hearing from Gary Garver on Controlled Chaos, and also Jim the Poor Man at 2 p.m. You'll be hearing it on my show at 4 p.m. on The Mark Live. Di Rice will be interrupting at any moment's notice if there's any further developments on this matter. This is KCAA, CNBC, 1050 a.m. with the live, local, and news update. I'm Mark Westwood.
Okay, guys, take care.
Thank you.
You've been listening to a live local special news report on KCAA 1050 AM. We now return to our regularly scheduled programming.
You just entered the Gotcha Zone. Eilon up to the start line and get ready to race with your host, Joe Britt. It's time for Gotcha Racing, live on KCAA 1050.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines and get ready for an action-packed, fun-filled hour of everything a motorhead ever loved or lived. Gotcha Racing with Joe Britt. Welcome to Gotcha Racing. This is Joe Britt. Racing fans, hi. Hello, racing fans out there. This is Joe Britt. You're on live with Gotcha Racing Live with Joe Britt. It is now, what is it, about 4:26. So we have been on the air with New York, Las Vegas, the high desert, talking about the incident that happened in Apple Valley a couple of days. Well, actually, a couple of days ago. But anyway, now we're back on track. We we had all our callers coming in, but I guess they got discouraged and they hung up. But nevertheless, we are still in the fold. So I come to you a humble man. I come to you a humble man that is a reflection of God's grace and goodness. I come to you a humble man that is standing on shoulders of ancestors. Hey, America. Hey, California. Wake up and be counted, Inland Empire. You got me, Joe Britt, live. Catch Racing Live. I'm still kind of I'm shook, man, of listening to the folks on the air talking about the incident in the high desert, and it threw me off. It really threw me off. I had a really great show prepared for you listeners out there, and hopefully we can get through half of it. You know, I have a interview that I wanted to put on last week, but the audio was not that great. So what I did, Randy and I were able to get together and have a real candid interview. I have, I did have my correspondent's coming in, a new correspondent for tires. His family has been in the tire business for the past 20 years, and he called and then he hung up. But nevertheless, and then we have our road warrior calling in probably in about a couple of minutes, and that's Chris. And Chris will talk about motorcycles, and then right after that we'll be going into our interview talking with Randy. He owns this fantastic Infinity G35. So, but right now, let's go to a station break and a commercial, and we shall be right back. Go ahead, Carlos. Pipe us in.
Oh, no. Thank you, J&K Automotive.
We're going to do, Carlos. Let's go ahead and go ahead and start recording. Okay. First of all, how you doing?
Great.
Good. So how I do my recordings, man, is like this. It's just like two guys talking shop, you know? That is so strange. I'm with Carlos here and my engineer. Normally it's JP.
Hey, racing fans,
Carlos,
this is Joe Britt, Kcaa Radio.
Okay,
I got you racing live. You know, last Saturday, one of the Saturdays before, I had a young man on the line. Well, actually, I did an interview with a young man named Randy, and he had a great-looking 2003 Infinity G35 coupe, and it really caught my eye. Now, I was in the city of Brea. That particular day, the sun was out. I mean, it was short pants and flip-flops all day long. Really nice. And out of maybe 50 or 60 cars at this particular event, this one car caught my attention. Now, you know, folks, I've been around for the past 30 years, and I've seen them come and I've seen them go. And this particular car, I tell you, it made me turn around. But you know something, folks? I saw this car at SEMA. You know, we've been at SEMA for the last 18 years filming at SEMA, and I know I have this G35 on some footage of mine, which I'm going to have to dig through the archives and then see if I can find. But I know I shot this car. Now, he said he was in the front of SEMA, and If it caught my eye now, it caught my eye then. Okay, so the primary, his name is Randy. Randy, how you doing, buddy?
Great. Nice to talk to you.
Great. You know, I'm glad that I could get you on the line. And let's talk about this fabulous car of yours. Now, you know something? When I was at that event, I saw your car, I did not know what it was. And that's unusual for me, to not to know what it was. That means you did some custom work to that particular car, man. So, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your car, and then let's get into some details, if you don't mind.
Sure. Pretty much I've been in cars most of my life. I've been customizing town cars for over 25 years. I love competing at shows and trying to be as competitive as I possibly can. Every car I've owned has been a show car and featured in a magazine of some sort. Thankfully, I have a wife that allows me to do this, and this current car is that I built for her.
Well, tell me something, Randy. Do you have a shop?
I do not have a shop. I do as much work as possible by myself, and I just do it in my little small 2-car garage.
Man, well, so you must have some type of a real lucrative job that gives you a lot of time, because I've seen a lot of. I looked at the car, and you put a lot of time into this particular vehicle. Where'd you get the time from to do that?
I'm not in the most well-paying job. Years past I've done better than I'm doing now, but I saved so much money doing everything possibly by myself, so I'm not paying a lot of money in labor. And thankfully, living in the LA area, there's so many shops and manufacturers out here, you can get everything easily. You're not paying shipping charges.
Well, that much is true. That much is true in the LA area. You can get a lot of things out there. And by the looks of your car, man, you must have been hitting up just about everyone in the LA area that was into custom cars. These wheels, I just shipped to look at your one photo to the next. In the rear of your car, that's a one-piece. Is that a one-piece or a two-piece? Your rims?
They're 3-piece wheels.
3-piece rims. Okay. Yeah. And that lip is what? That's got to be 6 inches, huh?
6-inch lip in the front and 7-inch lip in the rear.
No kidding. What size tires are in the rear?
It's a 305, 25, 20.
Okay, so that large of a rim and size tire, this is a wide body kit on this G35?
It is a custom wide body kit, yes.
No kidding. Is that fiberglass or is it metal?
The rear quarter panels are fiberglass. The front fenders are metal.
No kidding. Now, that's a custom job, right?
Yes, the wide body kit is a custom one-off.
No kidding. Who designed that for you?
Auto Explosion, Auto Body, and Gardena is the one that did it for me.
It's a really nice job. Now, those 3-piece rims, folks, what I'm looking at, he painted the lip in a purple anodized. No, but you said it wasn't anodized. It was powder coating, right?
Correct.
Okay. And this particular rim, I haven't seen this before. So, where'd you get that from?
It is a custom one-off wheel that I had made. Fortunate enough, I was shopping around for wheels and trying to find the good deal I possibly can. A good old friend of mine, he knew somebody who used to make wheels for his car, and he was looking to get back in the business. And so I contacted him. He had wheels he had designed already, which wasn't quite my interest. And so I came up with a bunch of different wheel designs I found and told him I want part of this wheel, part of this wheel, or part of this wheel. And then he came up with the drawing with this, and this is what I approved, and he made it for me.
How long did it take him to, I know he had a CNC machine to do this, but so how long did it take him from concept to actually hold that centerpiece in your hand?
It was probably about a month.
No kidding. Now, this guy that did this custom job for you, is he in the LA area?
Yes, he is.
No kidding. You know something? I hardly ever do this. Give me the name of this guy's shop.
His name is Bismarck Alvarado, in which the name that goes under is Triumph Performance Forged Wheels.
You know what? As guys, I'm gonna have to drop in on this guy's CNC shop and his wheel company because I really like what he does. It's really custom, and I have not seen any pattern like this. And this came out of your head. It's really nice. It's really nice, folks. You know, like I said, I'm gonna post this on my Instagram. Matter of fact, I did that last week, and I'll give you the link to go see this fantastic G35. So as I peruse the photos, let's go to the next one here. Okay. Well, this is your trunk area, Randy, and I see you have those are not subwoofers. What are those? You got two 12-inch?
Those are two 10-inch woofers.
Woofers. Okay. That's a lot of electronics back there for your sound system. Who did that work?
The installation I did myself. All the work back there I did myself except for the speaker box. I'm not expecting to do fiberglass work, so I had a shop at home what I wanted to do, have them fiberglass the box for me, and then everything else I did myself.
Dude, you're a master of everything. I can't believe you did this too. So, and you're telling us that you don't have a shop. I'm surprised. I am really surprised that you don't have a shop and people are not knocking down your door trying to get their car customized like this G35 you have here. Okay, let's continue to the photos, and I'm really excited about this G35 as we peruse. The motor, you put a lot of detail into that motor, man. You've knocked out a lot of the, you smoothed the compartment, okay, for one thing, and you painted the compartment the same color as the outside, which is, what kind of blue is that?
It's called Blue Thesis Pearl. It's from the Lansky Aventador.
Really? Okay. Now, I know I asked you before, that hood that you have on, is that fiberglass or is that carbon fiber?
Sorry, you're talking about the hood?
Yeah, your hood.
Yes, that is full carbon fiber.
No kidding. And the design on the top, I guess you did that too, huh?
Well, I had the hood painted, but then I wanted to show that that the carbon fiber work is there, so the vents were left unpainted so you can show off the carbon fiber work.
Nice, really nice. The modifications on your motor, folks, if you see Randy's motor, it looks completely chromed. I thought it was chromed, and Randy said it polished. Folks, if you know about polishing, that's pretty hard to do. It's time consuming. You got to have your special wheels. You got to have your special compounds. You put a lot of work into this particular car, Randy. What haven't you done? I mean, I'm so impressed with this vehicle. I'm looking at your motor here. I see nothing. It looks all chrome to me, man. And you said you polished all of this?
Yes, I've cut as much polishing as I could do myself. Large, intricate parts I'd send out. But the motor work itself, all the detail, is something I did myself. I did build the engine. The engine has been rebuilt. I did have a shop rebuild the motor, which I pulled out by myself and then put back in and did all the intricate work.
Dude, I am so impressed with your work. And what you let's see, anodize some offset, some accents on your motor that correspond with the color of your lips on your particular car. Really nice purple. I like that. It took a lot of thought process. Well, tell me something. Along with your thought process, did you put this on paper first and put your color scheme on it before you started to put it together?
A little bit. I mean, a lot of it is in my head. I'm not an artist. I'm not creative with Photoshop or anything like that. So just some photos, I just hold up a color next to it. And then when it came up and I thought these colors would work okay, I did have a friend who's excellent at photoshopping, and then had him do a Photoshop rendering of the car and put the two colors together, the blue and the purple. And I thought it was great. And I thought it was either going to be a love it or hate it. I decided to go ahead and do it.
How many shows have you put this beast in?
Overall, I have no clue how many shows I've gone to with it. As far as awards over the years, I've won over 100 awards.
No kidding. No kidding. With this particular car, or with all your vehicles that you've done?
Just this one car's won over 100 awards.
No kidding, man. You know what? I could have swore I heard you say you had just got this car ready for SEMA, which was in November, or was it the November pass?
Well, just after about the time up in SEMA, the car's been in 4 shows since then. But I'm talking about from the original, when I first started showing the car in 2006, that's when I won the 100 awards.
Really nice.
Different look for the car.
Really nice, really nice. You know, and what I appreciate about you, well, not only your talent, your work, is that you and your wife are partners on this, and you were telling me that it's a daily driver, and she drives it. I think you said it. Am I right on that?
Yes, it's a daily driver. My wife drives it daily.
So, if she drives this custom one-off, what are you left with?
My car used to be a show car, but not so much anymore. I've just pretty much let it go by the wayside. So all my efforts go into this car at this time.
A beautiful car, Randy. I really like the detail. Let's go to the next photo here. Let's see what we got. Oh, we're back on the motor. The motor's absolutely off the chain, man. Really off the chain. Now, you know something? We're getting close to the end of our interview, and I really appreciate you letting me interview you about your car. I'm going to give you the last word of this segment here, okay? And this, you can give any shout out to whomever you feel, all the people that have helped you with this particular car, all the shops. I hardly ever do this, but I'm really impressed with this car. So, Randy, I'll give the last word. Let you go at it, and shout out as many people as you can. Go ahead, buddy.
Thank you. Honestly, ultimate shout out goes to my wife, Hoy, for allowing me to do this and continue doing this. The shop Auto Explosion for allowing me to do this body work and pull that off. RM Paint is the paint that's on the car. Vortex Superchargers, which provides extra horsepower. Toyo Tires for making it run smooth. Triumph Forged Wheels again for making those beautiful one-off wheels. Kcaa Racing, the seatbelts hold me in place. Mother's Polish, that keeps the car now like shiny. Canyon Filters, and the shop that actually built the motor was TechnoSquare. And to all my great teammates of Team R-Ride.
Okay, this is, let's see, we are in the month of, what is this? This is April. What's up next for the car? Where's it going?
This Sunday will be at the car show InstaFame, which is out at California Speedway. And then in May, going to Las Vegas for a doubleheader show.
Excellent. Randy, keep me in the loop where the car is going to be at, because I get the other half of Gotcha Racing Live, which is Gotcha Racing TV, and which is a production company, and we shoot in HD. And I would love to get you on tape with the car in HD, so we can put it on cable and on our internet and on our channel. So keep me in the loop if you possibly can. I would really appreciate that. Sir, it's been a pleasure and an honor speaking with you. And you have so much talent. You have so much talent, man. I mean, I swear, looking at your car, you need to have a shop. But you know, a shop comes with all the problems, and you know, I always say the fleas come with the dog. But nevertheless, you've done a fantastic job on this one piece, on this G35, and I applaud you on it, man. Tell your wife, I said, she has to be she has to be the jewel of your life, because I tell you, when you were talking about her before, you had a smile. You had that Kool-Aid smile that just wouldn't stop. So I know you guys are working as a team on this. So my hat goes off to you and your lovely wife. You take care, buddy, and keep me in the loop if you can on where the car is going to be, so I can get my film crew out and really do you some good justice. Okay?
Thank you. I appreciate your appreciation.
Okay. Take care of yourself. Talk to you soon. Folks, this is Joe Britt, Gotcha Racing Live. You know, we broadcast out of San Bernardino, and we broadcast out of the studio KCAA Talk Radio. That's 1050 on your AM dials.
Okay, folks. I'm back in the seat, and we just finished a nice conversation I had with Randy about his fantastic G35. You can probably see that, not probably, you can go to my my Facebook, which is Gotcha Racing, and see the photos that I shot of Randy's particular car. So all the accents that I was talking about, you can see that. You know, I want to put up a real, you know, let's do this. I have a segment called Off Track, and that's where I'm out and about in the different cities. Like the one you just heard before, I was in Brea. This particular one coming up is in the city of Rialto, and it's a guy who's working on a Lamborghini replica that I found very interesting. Carlos, go ahead and pipe that in, and let's give it a run. Hey, folks, this section of our programming is called Off Track, and Off Track is where I or one of my associates go to different shops, and we will talk candidly with the shop owner or the engineer of the different shops. You know, it's all automotive related, so I think you get a kick out of what we do in the section called Off Track. And later on, when the season builds up, it's like at the end of January, we'll be doing On Track interviews. So sit tight, relax for a while, put your feet up, and listen to what the conversation we're having with different folks with Off Track. Okay, here we go. Well, folks, this is Joe Britt, and this is Gotcha Racing Live, and we're in the city of Rialto. And guess what I have found? I have found I would say a diamond in the rough. This young man that I've known for, I guess about 10 years now, he is doing some outstanding things with this kit car. It's a Diablo kit car, and guess what? It has a 3.8 supercharger in the rear, which is transverse mounted, and guess what he has done? He has mounted it with the largest doggone turbo that I have seen on the market, you know, and it's running awfully quiet, awfully quiet. You can hardly hear it run. You know, he's been working on this project for, how long now?
About 6 years.
About 6 years, and I tell you, it's right there. It is right there. So I'm going to have an interview with this young man, and we're going to talk about what he's done with this particular car, and it's on a 3-hour chassis, right? Yeah, it's on a 3-hour chassis. But I tell you, this is the Roadster model, right?
Yeah.
What year is this?
99.
So 99 Roadster model. He has all the badges on it, but I can't wait to see it hit the streets. So, young man, your shop is called Classified, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Classified.
And you're located
in Rialto.
Okay, so he's located in Rialto, people. You wouldn't know that this young man is doing some phenomenal things in city of Rialto with his work, actually. What size turbo is that?
It's a T86.
And that looks like it's off of a diesel truck or something?
Yeah, it's a diesel truck.
Well, how'd you get that to run so successfully?
I made a housing in the back. Made a housing so it worked. The turbo would work with low air pressure, so it can pull up 1,000 horsepower.
So, we should call you Dr. Frankenstein then, right?
No.
Well, look, you already got a supercharger, 3.8, but then you add a turbo on it. What kind of boost are we talking about here?
About 28 PSIs.
Okay. Now, the 3.8 superchargers, it comes off the rack and pushing how many horsepowers?
About 240 stock.
By 240 stock?
Yeah.
And you've added with the turbo what?
It can pull out about 8 to the wheels. 800 horsepower to the wheels.
Is that right? And this is a that's a stick.
Yeah, stick.
And this is what transmission is that?
Gear track, 5-speed.
Really? Man, you gotta carry that transmission up with this.
No.
So the Getlag transmission would hold all this power and the torque?
Yeah, but you gotta take off easy.
No kidding. Folks, you ought to see what I see. He has a... Oh, by the way, you have your You're in a cooler right
and
there.
Extra blow-off valve.
And so, and an extra blow-off valve. Where's that located?
In the bottom.
No kidding. No kidding. No kidding. Start it up. Well, here we go, folks. Let's see if you can hear it. Starting at 3.8 up. Do you believe that? Let me look at your turbo. See if it's actually spooling, or are you joking? Are you joking with me? And the turbo is actually spooling. This is a nice setup. Really nice setup. I didn't know you were doing it like this. I did not. At 3.8. So man, what now? Your intentions to do what with this? Just to ride around the streets, or are you gonna hit the track with it?
The track.
How's your suspension?
Good. It's good.
So what have you done with it?
I can't say nothing about my suspension. It's hard to make a fear stick to the floor. So
you hear that?
I can't say the secret.
He has some secrets that he don't want to give up, but I understand it. The car is absolutely great. I can't wait to see it actually on the track. So when you get on the track, do you mind taking me and my viewers on for a ride?
No, I don't mind.
There you go, folks. So we have an open invitation. Whether we're going to be with him on the track whenever he gets going, maybe California Speedway, and go around a couple of laps and see what this Roush can do with the 3.8 with that humongous turbo in the rear. It's running now. Can you hear it? Really smooth. So tell me something. How'd you do the brain on this?
Good tuner. That's all. You gotta take it to a good tuner.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Somebody out here?
Nah, not from here.
I'll be doggone. You can hardly hear this Roush go running. It's running real smooth. So now my hand's on the top of the vehicle, and you can always tell if it's rough or if it's idling kind of rough, and it's not. It sounds it feels real smooth. So my hat's off to you, dude. And I know you've been working on this project a long time. And folks, if you could see what I see, you'd have to stand up and give this guy props. So he's classified. This place is called Classified, and he's I would consider a diamond in the rough in the city of Rialto. I want to thank you for your time. You got a plug for your shop?
Yeah.
Give it up. Contact information.
It's 909-419-0688. My name is Mario.
There you go, folks. There you go. All right, this is Joe Britt, and this is Off Track. Gotcha Racing Live, and we will see you in the studios on Saturday. We're out. Okay, folks, that was the Off Track series that I like to run, and it puts me out and about with the as we would say, boots on the ground. And I love to have boots on the ground and go around and talk with the different folks that are doing some great things in the Southern California area. We have several of those coming up. Well, we're at the end of our time here. We had 25 minutes that was dedicated to a newscast, and that kind of threw everything off. But nevertheless, we're still in this seat, and we're still rolling around the track, and we're coming to an end of our great journey today. The weather's absolutely great on the outside. California, I tell you, is a great place to be, especially on today, on great Saturday. Weather's phenomenal. It's like a flip-flop weather day. What I mean by that, short pants and flip-flops for you guys. I'm teasing you guys on the East Coast because I know you're bombarded with the snow and the cold and the hail and all that stuff that comes with it. We're not experiencing that at this particular time. But what I do envy you is water. We have a water shortage here in California, and man, if I can flip things around and get all that snow and all that water from you guys and put it out here, the state would be absolutely great state to be in. But we're fighting water. But nevertheless, we're still living in the Sunshine State. They say Florida is sunshine. Yeah, it is. But California, this is how we roll in California. And earthquakes. If it's not over 5 point something, we don't even get out of bed. And that's how we roll in California. But nevertheless, this is Joe Britt. And the show is called Kcaa Racing Live. And I'm broadcasting out of the little powerful station in Southern California in San Bernardino, which is called Kcaa Talk Radio. It is streaming live into 174 countries across this blue dot of ours. And guess what? We're soon to add not one but 2 FM stations so we can broadcast AM and FM simultaneously. So, you think I got a big mouth now, folks? Just wait and see when those other 2 rascals, those other 2 stations are online. Yeah. And I always say we're broadcasting from the desert to the sea, meaning we broadcast as far as Barstow, and we broadcast all the way to the Pacific Ocean, and from Palm Springs to the LA County line. So that big slip right there, you would catch us communicating. We're on 24/7. Okay, so we're almost off the air, and let me say this to you. Kcaa Racing Live is coming to you every Saturday at 4 p.m. Check us out on the web at kcaaracing.com. As for, by the way, we have Kcaa Racing stickers for your car, your bike, even your girl's hiney. If you want to go ahead and put it there. If you want one, you got to email me, at joebritt.kcaa at gmail.com, and I'll be sure to get one of those out to you. Okay, look, you're listening to Kcaa Racing Live with Joe Britt, with your host Joe Britt, on the station that leaves no listener behind, Kcaa Talk Radio 1050. I want to tell you guys to be safe. You take care of yourself. God bless, and I will speak with you next Saturday, same time, same bat station. Okay, guys, take care. Talk to you soon.
You're on board KCAA's Inland Talk Express. KCAA, Loma Linda, 1050 AM, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Welcome to My Awesome Empire. This week, we fill our program with great community leaders. In 2007, 2 teachers at Etiwanda High School began a mentoring program to help troubled kids make it through high school.